We're about to take a deep dive into what makes for really great leadership, drawing from research and real-world examples.
So,
One of the resources you share that really stood out to us was the Leadership Challenge by Kouzes and Posner.
right.
It's full of great stuff, and we will definitely be using some of their ideas. But to make this deep dive super practical and something you guys can actually use, we'll be focusing on bringing those concepts to life with tons of examples and analogies.
Sounds good.
Ready? Let's jump in.
Excited.
So first, what are people actually looking for in their leaders? You know those qualities that make someone really stand out as a leader they'd actually want to follow?
It's amazing how consistent these qualities are. No matter like what industry you're in or what culture or even what time period. Really at the core, what people want is honesty. They want to know that the person in charge is truthful and can be trusted.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, who wants to follow someone they think is lying or hiding things?
Right.
It'd be like building a house on a shaky foundation.
Exactly.
You're just asking for trouble.
Yeah. And besides, honesty, competence is super important too.
Oh, yeah.
People need to feel like their leader knows what they're doing, like they have the skills and experience to lead them in the right direction.
Yeah, it's like when you get on an airplane.
Hmm.
You want the pilot knows how to fly the plane right.
Exactly.
And will get you where you need to go safely.
Yeah. And it's not just about technical skills either. It's about being able to make good decisions and navigate difficult situations.
Right. You need someone who can stay calm under pressure,
Yeah,
think clearly, and make the tough calls.
definitely.
But it can't all be seriousness and hard skills, right?
No.
Don't people also want a leader who's inspiring and engaging?
Of course. People are naturally drawn to leaders who are inspiring, people who can get them excited about the future. Think about it. Who wants to follow a leader who's always negative or pessimistic?
Yeah, no one.
It's draining. You want someone who can lift you up, paint a positive vision, and make you feel like you're part of something bigger than yourself.
It's like the difference between a coach who just yells orders and one who motivates and inspires their team to be their best.
Exactly. And that brings us to another important quality, being forward-looking. People want leaders who can give them a sense of direction, a roadmap to where they're going.
Yeah, because without a clear vision,
Mhm.
it's like going on a road trip with no destination. You might enjoy the ride for a while, but eventually you'll be like, where are we going and why are we even doing this?
Right. Now, what's interesting is that these four qualities, honesty, competence, inspiration, and being forward-looking, have stayed the same for decades, even with all the leadership research that's been done.
Wow.
It seems like no matter how much the world changes, these core qualities are always valuable.
That's really fascinating. It shows how important these qualities are to us as humans when it comes to choosing who we follow. But just having these qualities isn't enough, is it?
Yeah.
Leaders have to actually show them, build credibility so people trust that they really have these qualities.
Absolutely.
So how do they do that?
You've hit on a key point. It's not enough to just talk the talk. Leaders have to walk the walk.
Yeah.
And it comes down to this one principle. Do what you say you will do.
It sounds so simple, but I can see how powerful that would be.
Yeah.
If a leader keeps their promises, people will start to trust and rely on them.
Exactly. And it creates like a chain reaction. When leaders are trustworthy, it makes the whole organization more trustworthy.
It's like that saying, trust is earned, not given. Every action, every promise that's kept is like adding to that trust.
Yes.
And eventually that trust becomes the foundation for really strong leadership. But how do leaders go beyond just keeping their word? How do they really set an example and live by the values they want their team to follow?
It starts with making those values clear. Leaders need to talk with their teams and make sure everyone understands what the organization stands for and what principles guide their actions. These values can't just be empty words on a poster.
Right, it's like having a mission statement for your family. You can have nice words framed on the wall, but if your actions as a family don't match those words, it means nothing.
Exactly.
The real power is when those values show up in how you treat each other and how you make decisions every day.
Exactly. And that's where leading by example comes in. Leaders have to embody the values they talk about. Their actions speak louder than words.
For sure. Like if you tell your team innovation is important, but then you shut down every new idea, well, that sends a mixed message, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Your words and actions don't match, and that makes people lose trust.
Right.
They start to think you don't really mean it.
I can see how that would make people cynical and less engaged. They won't feel inspired if they don't think their leader is truly committed to the values they're promoting.
You got it. Now think about a company like Patagonia.
Okay.
They're known for caring about the environment, right?
Yeah.
But it's not just marketing for them. It's a core part of who they are. Their leaders are involved in environmental causes. They make decisions that prioritize the planet, and they give their employees ways to get involved too.
So their actions match their values,
Hmm.
which makes their message so much more powerful.
Precisely. And that creates a sense of pride and purpose within the company. People want to work there because they believe in what the company stands for and they see their leaders actually living those values every day.
It's like that saying, be the change you want to see in the world.
Right.
Leaders who set a good example are basically doing that within their organizations. They're setting the standard and inspiring others to follow.
Exactly. And that's a powerful way to build a truly great team.
So we've talked about building credibility and setting a good example. But what about inspiring a shared vision?
Okay.
How do leaders get people excited about the future and make them feel like they're part of something bigger than themselves?
That's where purpose comes in. People are way more engaged and motivated when they can connect their work to something meaningful, something that lines up with their own values and goals.
It's like the difference between just going through the motions at work versus feeling like you're contributing to something that matters.
Exactly. If you're working on something you believe in, that you're passionate about, you're going to be way more invested in it.
Right, you're going to be more energetic and creative, and you'll care more about whether it succeeds. It's like the difference between just mowing the lawn because you have to and taking care of a garden that you love,
I like that.
and want to see it thrive.
And studies have actually found that workers who find meaning in their jobs are more engaged, productive, and less likely to quit.
So it's not just about feeling good. It actually benefits the whole organization.
Yeah.
But how do leaders create that sense of purpose? How do they get people to buy into their vision?
One way is by painting a vivid picture of the future. Leaders need to explain their vision in clear terms, creating a mental image that people can understand and connect with.
It's like an architect showing their vision for a new building. They don't just show blueprints. They use models and visuals to make the building come to life so people can really experience it even before it's built.
That's a great example. It's about making the future feel real and tangible, something worth working towards.
And it can't just be a dry presentation of facts, can it?
No, no.
It has to be something that connects with people emotionally, something that gets them feeling excited and inspired about what the future holds.
Absolutely. It's about connecting with people on a deeper level by appealing to their hopes, dreams, and aspirations.
Think about Martin Luther King Jr.'s I Have a Dream speech. It wasn't just a list of demands. It was a powerful picture of a better future where equality and justice would win.
Exactly. And that vision resonated with millions of people because it spoke to their deep desire for a fairer society. It wasn't just a concept, it was an emotional experience that inspired people to take action. And that's the power of a great vision.
It's about painting a picture so vivid and inspiring that people can't help but want to be a part of making it real.
Exactly. That's how you start a movement, a collective effort towards achieving something truly amazing. It's amazing how much we've learned about leadership, right?
Yeah.
But one of the most interesting things in recent years has been the importance of emotional intelligence.
Well, emotional intelligence, that's a big one, isn't it?
Yeah.
I've heard a lot about EQ and leadership, but I'll be honest, it always seemed a little vague to me. Like, is it just about being nice?
It's definitely more than that. Emotional intelligence, or EQ, is the ability to understand and manage your own emotions and to be aware of and influence other people's emotions, too.
Okay, so it's about being self-aware and empathetic
Yeah.
and being good at dealing with those messy human emotions.
Exactly. And the thing is, it's not just about feelings. Emotional intelligence is really important for practical leadership skills like building trust, communicating well, resolving conflicts, and motivating people.
I see what you mean. Some of the best leaders I've known were really good at connecting with people on an emotional level. They made you feel seen and heard, which made you want to do your best for them.
You're right. And research shows this is true. Leaders with high EQ tend to be more effective at pretty much everything from coming up with new ideas to creating a positive work environment.
So let's break this down a bit. What are the key parts of emotional intelligence? What does it look like in practice?
There are a few different ways to look at it, but one common model breaks EQ down into 4 areas: self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, and relationship management.
Okay, 4 areas. That sounds manageable. Let's start with self-awareness. What's a self-aware leader like?
Self-aware leaders have a good understanding of their own strengths, weaknesses, values, and what motivates them. They're in touch with their emotions and how those emotions affect their actions and decisions.
So it's about being honest with yourself, about what you're good at, what you need to work on, and how your feelings might be affecting your behavior.
Exactly. And that's not always easy. It takes courage and honesty to look at yourself and admit that maybe some things need to change. But this self-awareness is so important for good leadership.
It makes sense. If you're not aware of your own tendencies, your blind spots, you're more likely to make decisions based on your ego or unconscious biases.
Right. Imagine a leader who has no idea that they get defensive when someone challenges them.
Oh, yeah.
They're probably going to ignore feedback, even if it could help them improve.
But a leader who is aware of that can work on managing it right.
Yes.
Maybe they take a moment to pause before reacting, process the feedback, and then respond in a more open and thoughtful way.
That's a great example. Self-awareness helps leaders be more intentional with their actions and create a better environment for their teams.
Okay, so self-awareness is the foundation. What about self-management? Where does that fit in?
Self-management builds on self-awareness. It's about being able to control your impulses, manage your emotions effectively, and stay flexible when things change. Think about resilience flexibility and being positive even when things are tough.
So it's like having a thermostat for your emotions. You're not letting your feelings control you.
Yeah.
You're regulating them so you can respond in a calm and productive way.
Exactly. Think about a leader who loses it under pressure. They might yell, make impulsive decisions, and ultimately hurt morale and productivity.
Right.
But a leader with good self-management can stay calm, think clearly, and help their team through tough times.
Yeah, it's like being the captain of a ship in a storm. You can't control the storm, but you can control how you react to it. And your ability to stay calm and make good decisions will determine whether the ship survives or crashes.
I love that analogy. It really shows how important self-management is, especially in high-pressure situations.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now let's shift gears and talk about social awareness. This is where empathy comes in. So if self-awareness is about knowing yourself, social awareness is about understanding others,
Exactly.
being in tune with their emotions, perspectives, and needs.
Yes. Socially aware leaders are good at reading both verbal and nonverbal cues, understanding the group dynamics, and sensing the underlying emotions that might be affecting people's behavior.
It's like having a sixth sense for what's going on beneath the surface.
Yeah.
You're picking up on those subtle cues, the unspoken feelings, and that helps you respond in a more sensitive and effective way.
Exactly. Imagine a leader walking into a meeting and sensing right away that there's tension. Instead of ignoring it or pushing ahead with their agenda, they might acknowledge the tension, ask open-ended questions, and give people space to express their concerns.
That takes real emotional intelligence, being able to read the room like that and adjust your approach.
It does. And social awareness isn't just about individual emotions, it's also about being aware of the broader cultural and political dynamics in an organization.
So understanding those unwritten rules, the power dynamics, and how different groups interact.
Exactly. This awareness helps leaders navigate complex situations, more effectively build bridges between groups, and create a more inclusive and harmonious work environment.
Okay, we've covered self-awareness, self-management, and social awareness. What about relationship management? How does that connect to emotional intelligence?
Relationship management is like the culmination of the other three.
Okay.
It's about using your understanding of yourself and others to build strong, healthy relationships based on trust, mutual respect, and open communication.
It's like using all those ingredients we've talked about, self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, to create a recipe for positive and productive relationships.
I like that. Leaders who are good at managing relationships are great communicators. They're good at influencing and inspiring others, and they can build consensus and get people working together.
So they can connect with people, motivate them to work towards common goals, and handle disagreements and conflicts in a constructive way.
Exactly. Think about a leader giving feedback to someone who made a mistake. They don't just focus on the error, they approach it with empathy, offer support, and help the person learn from it.
It's like the difference between just pointing out a mistake and offering guidance to help someone improve.
Exactly. And that approach builds trust and strengthens the relationship. It also creates a more positive and supportive workplace.
Okay, so we've covered the 4 parts of emotional intelligence. It's clear the EQ is really important for leadership. But here's something I've always wondered. Are you born with emotional intelligence, or can you learn it?
That's a great question, and researchers have been trying to figure that out for a long time. While some people might be naturally inclined towards certain aspects of emotional intelligence, the good news is that EQ is a skill you can learn and develop just like any other skill.
So you're not stuck with whatever level of EQ you were born with. You can actually get better at it through practice, self-reflection, and learning new strategies.
Absolutely. It's like learning to play a musical instrument. Some people have a natural talent for music, but anyone can learn to play if they're willing to put in the time and effort.
So if a leader knows they need to work on their EQ, it's not hopeless. There's hope.
Exactly. There are tons of resources out there to help leaders develop their emotional intelligence. Books, articles, workshops, coaching programs, you name it.
And it sounds like it's worth the effort.
Yeah.
Developing your EQ can make you a better leader, help you build stronger relationships, and create a more positive and productive work environment for everyone.
Exactly. It's a win-win situation for everyone. And it's never too late to start working on your emotional intelligence.
So we've talked about building credibility and emotional intelligence, but what about vision and purpose?
Yeah. Vision and purpose, those are like the heart of great leadership. They give you direction and meaning in everything you do.
It's like if you're sailing without a compass or a map. You might enjoy the trip for a while, but you'll never get where you want to go.
Exactly. A leader without vision is lost, just drifting. But a leader with a strong vision, they can set a course, face challenges, and inspire their team to do amazing things.
So how do leaders come up with a good vision? Where do they start?
It can be a mix of things. Sometimes a vision just hits you like a bolt of lightning.
Right.
You suddenly see a need or an opportunity. But usually it's a process. You have to reflect, observe, and be willing to dream big.
So it's like planting a seed. It might start small, but with care, it can grow into something amazing.
That's a great way to put it. And like a gardener takes care of their plants, leaders need to take care of their vision and help it grow.
So how do they start doing that? What are the first steps?
It often starts with looking inward, understanding your own values, beliefs, and what you want to achieve.
Oh, okay.
A leader has to ask themselves some tough questions. What am I really passionate about? What kind of impact do I want to have? What do I want to be remembered for?
It's like that saying, know thyself. You have to understand yourself before you can lead others.
Right. And once you have a good grasp of your own values, you can start looking outward. What are the needs and problems out there? What are the chances to make things better? Where can I make a real difference?
Because a vision isn't just about being successful yourself, right?
No.
It's about using your talents and passions to do something that benefits others and makes the world a better place.
Exactly. A powerful vision often comes from a desire to have a positive impact. Think about some of the greatest leaders. Nelson Mandela, Mahatma Gandhi, Martin Luther King Jr., they were all driven by a vision of a better future, where things were fair, equal, and compassionate.
And those visions inspired so many people because they wanted those things too, a world that's more just and kind.
Exactly. And those leaders were able to turn their big ideas into actions that really changed the world. But how do you bridge that gap? How do you take a grand vision and make it a reality?
That's where communication is key, right?
Yes.
A leader needs to explain their vision in a way that's clear, concise, and compelling. They need to paint a picture with their words, tell a story that connects with people emotionally.
You got it. Just like an artist can use their brushstrokes to evoke emotions and inspire awe, a leader has to use their words to paint a picture of a future that people will get excited about.
It's like the difference between describing a beautiful sunset and actually painting it in a way that lets people feel the warmth and the awe of that moment.
That's a perfect analogy. A leader's vision needs to connect with people on an emotional level, make them feel like they're part of something bigger.
So it's not just about facts and figures. It's about tapping into hopes, dreams, and aspirations, making people believe that a better future is possible and that they can be a part of it.
Exactly. A good vision creates a sense of possibility, a belief that we can achieve amazing things together. Think about John F. Kennedy's challenge to put a man on the moon. It was a bold vision, seemingly impossible, but he spoke about it with such conviction that it inspired a whole nation to make it happen.
And they did. They landed on the moon, proving that with a powerful vision and real action, you can achieve anything.
Absolutely. But communication is just the start. Leaders can't just talk about their vision, they have to live it, breathe it, show it in everything they do. Their actions have to match their words.
It's like a parent teaching their kids about honesty. If they lie and cheat all the time, their words about honesty won't mean anything. But if they are honest themselves, their kids will see that and be more likely to be honest too.
That's a great point. Leaders need to be role models, showing their team what it looks like to actually live out the vision every day.
Because if a leader's words and actions don't match, It creates a sense of hypocrisy, and that can really hurt trust and morale.
Absolutely. People can tell when a leader is being genuine when they really believe in their vision.
So it's not about pretending to be someone you're not. It's about being true to yourself and inspiring others by your own example.
Exactly. And that kind of authenticity is powerful. It draws people in and makes them want to be a part of the journey.
So we've talked about how leaders create a vision, communicate it, and live it out. But how do they bring others along? How do they get their team to buy in and contribute their own skills and ideas?
That's where collaboration and empowerment are important. Leaders need to create an environment where people feel valued, heard, and respected. They have to encourage open communication, welcome different perspectives, and make people feel like they own the vision too.
It's like the difference between a conductor leading an orchestra and a musician playing solo. An orchestra makes a richer sound because everyone is working together, each musician adding their own unique talents to create a beautiful whole.
That's a fantastic analogy. And just like a conductor has to understand each musician's strengths, a leader needs to understand their team's talents and perspectives and how they can all contribute.
And that means empowering people, right?
Yes,
Giving them the freedom and resources to do their best work, make decisions, and take ownership of their part in the vision.
absolutely. Empowerment is essential. It makes people feel responsible, and that leads to more engagement, creativity, and commitment.
Think about a company like Google. They're known for being innovative. They empower their employees to spend some of their time on their own projects, and that's led to some of their biggest successes like Gmail and Google Maps.
Exactly. Google trusts and empowers their people, and that's how they've achieved so much.
So it's about making sure everyone feels like they're a part of something bigger, not just following orders, but contributing their own unique skills and ideas to a shared vision.
You got it. And that shared ownership can be really powerful. It creates a feeling of purpose and motivation that can help you overcome anything.
So we've covered a lot: crafting a vision, communicating it, living it out, and empowering others. But how do we know if a vision is actually successful? How do we measure its impact?
In the end, a vision's success is measured by the results it produces, the positive changes it brings to the world. Did it lead to meaningful change? Did it improve lives? Did it create a better future?
It's like planting a garden. You can nurture it, but the real test is whether it produces something good, something nourishing for everyone.
That's a beautiful way to put it. A successful vision creates results that benefit people and make the world a better place.
And those results can come in many forms,
Yeah,
right?
sweet.
It could be a product that solves a problem, a movement for justice, or even just a simple act of kindness that makes someone's day.
Exactly. The size of the impact doesn't matter as much as the effort to make a difference.
So it's not about fame or recognition. It's about making a meaningful contribution, no matter how big or small.
Exactly. And that's what true leadership is all about. It's not about power, it's about making the world a better place.
That's really inspiring. And that brings us to the end of our deep dive into leadership. We've covered a lot, from building credibility and emotional intelligence to creating a vision and empowering others.
It's been a great discussion. We hope you've gained some valuable insights that you can use on your own leadership journey.
Remember, leadership is a choice. It's a journey of learning and growth. Embrace the challenge, hold on to your vision, and always strive to make a difference.
And until next time, lead with courage, compassion, and purpose.